It's supposed to feel.
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to NS9 Postgame Show, part of Pittsburgh Baseball Now. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we got Jim Rosati. Jim, we got back-to-back wins, baby. Pirates win 8-7. Another very interesting game, though. But what's up?
Another 3 home run performance.
Back-to-back wins?
From a very unlikely candidate, but
that's right.
Hey, we'll take it.
That's right. Yeah, back-to-back wins, back-to-back 3 home run games by a player, which now, as I tweeted out there, this is the third game the Pirates have had a person that has 3 home runs, and there's only 11 in all of MLB. So Pirates have 3 out of the 11 games because they're a powerhouse.
They also became the first team in the history of the sport to have 3 different guys hit 3 home runs in the same month.
That's right. History in the making.
that's pretty incredible.
Historic 2022 Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, we're talking about a game that's been around for 150 years. No team has ever done what Brian Reynolds, Jack Sawinski, and tonight, we haven't even said his name yet, Michael Perez, 3 home run night. First time that's ever happened.
He's getting suspended, right? Like, I mean, he's getting checked right now, I think, currently, his urine.
He's getting that random drug test. Yeah.
I mean, come on. 3 home runs tonight by Michael Perez.
Yeah.
Just when you're at the...
Pat McAfee would always get the drug test after like an 80-yard punt. Is that what it was?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we're talking about a guy who was DFA'd, which, honestly, you know, we talked about earlier season. Like, that wasn't totally surprising and shocking. I mean, who he replaced it with didn't make a whole lot of sense. But he was DFA'd, comes up, and, like, his first hit of the season was a big home run. And then he just quietly became, you know, Michael Perez until tonight, where he jacks 3 home runs, which, I mean, geez, now we found out we really needed all of them to win this game once again. Right. Just like Brian Reynolds' 3 home runs yesterday, you need every bit of them. So the Pirates do win 8-7 tonight. Thank you, Michael Perez.
Yeah, he 4 for 4 night, 3 homers, a single. He was on fire. His weighted runs created plus going into the game was 16. It's now at 61. So flip those numbers around. He's still only hitting 169, but hey, we'll take those 3 homers.
Yeah, for real. No, it's funny. So like you said, it went from 16 to 61. For the day, his weighted run created plus was 1,083.
It's pretty good. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
It's 1,000% better than everyone else. Points better, I should say.
Yeah, like seriously.
That's ridiculous. But
yeah, no, hell of a game from him. And like you mentioned, they needed each and every one of those runs. Like he hit his 3rd home run there in the that was the 8th inning that he did, right? 8th inning. Yeah. And they needed it because Bucko Mike.
Now I gotta admit, I didn't see beforehand, but when he hit the 2 home runs, I will say Bucko Mike said he's hitting 3 home runs tonight.
That's not calling.
He must have he had the Bucko Mike pep talk before the game.
Yeah, that's not calling it. You can't call. You can't say you called a 3 homer night after he's already hit 2. Like that's not calling it. Not giving you credit for that, Bucko Mike. But yeah, so Perez, we needed every single run there. Sawinski, another home run, and O'Neal Cruz just with an absolute bomb, his 2nd home run of the year. So it was a good night. I mean, what was that? 6, 7, 8 batters combined for 5 home runs, and all 8 runs batted in tonight.
I mean, it's again, just shout out to Ben Cherington, the length of this lineup. You know what I mean? It just never ends.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, it was
Michael
like,
Perez
again,
though now. Yeah. Higher slugging
I was saying,
percentage
no,
than
fun game.
Brian Hayes.
There you go. Absolutely sustainable as well.
Yeah.
But let's get into the whole depth of this game. So starts off with JT Brubaker, Adrian Hauser. Hauser gets taken out early due to an injury. And I'll say at that point, I mean, you never like see injuries happen, right? But at that point, the Pirates were in the lead. The bullpen's coming in. Not that the Milwaukee's bullpen's bad by any means. I mean, that's the strength they have is the bullpen. But getting to the bullpen that early was something to be kind of excited for. Again, not because of the circumstances, but kind of excited because you're getting to the bullpen early. That maybe changes a bit of the way the series goes.
No, see, I actually think it's the opposite. I think the Pirates had a better chance if Hauser had stayed in. They had a lineup of 8 lefties. So like bringing Hauser out of the game in the 3rd inning to put in a lengthy lefty, and like they were hitting Hauser. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Suter didn't pitch well, but
Right.
I think they would have done more against Hauser than they did against Suter. I mean, they only used 3 relievers. This isn't going to affect their bullpen in any way. They didn't use any of their good guys. Tomorrow, Corbin Burns is starting, so he's just going to go out there and pitch like 8 scoreless with like 14 strikeouts.
That's true.
And none of this is going to matter.
So that's actually a really good point. Yeah.
So I mean, none of
because
these
he is
guys
definitely
are
going
guys-
8.
Right. Yeah. He's going to go 8 and like 14 strikeouts, literally. And this game won't matter. They only used 3 guys, and none of them were like their main guys. So I don't really see this having much of an effect on the rest of the series. And like I said, I would have liked to have seen them against Hauser for a bit longer. But yeah, something clearly wrong with Hauser after he walked. I think it was a walk to Vogelbach. It was a 4-pitch walk. And
I think so, yeah.
You could just tell like maybe like some tingling in his arm or something because there was something wrong, going up and down his right arm. So he gets taken out of the game.
Which I did say it was elbow discomfort.
Yeah. But no, I guess shout out to the bats. I mean, the bats hit the ball. Michael Perez, like I said, I was just otherworldly today. Jack Sawinski with a good game. I said Cruz with just that bomb that he had. Good game by the offense. We've seen a couple games now back to back where the offense is doing something.
Right. Yeah, for sure. It was, I mean, much like yesterday, though, like if it wasn't for Michael Perez, I know the offense was doing some damage today, a little bit better than yesterday, at least, where it was really just Brian Reynolds. It was almost the same thing. Like outside of Michael Perez, there was some offense, but like this Pirates team needed Michael Perez. Like every bit of those 4 hits and 5 RBIs that he had. But I mean, hey, you got it done somehow or another. It wasn't likely it was going to be Michael Perez. It ended up being Michael Perez. So thank you, Michael Perez. Pirates do squeak out this win. But to start with JT Brubaker. So much like, I shouldn't say much like yesterday, but yesterday with Keller Day, right? Keller's been doing well with a 2-seam. So you're intrigued to see Keller and how he performs. And JT Brubaker, also kind of the same scenario here. You've been intrigued how he's been performing of recent. Not one of his better games, but he at least held on, pitched well enough to keep the Pirates into the this game and such. So yeah, like I don't come away looking at this saying great job by JT Brubaker, even though he gets his 2nd win of the year. It wasn't a pretty performance.
No, it wasn't like his best start, but like you mentioned, he kept the team in it. He gave them a little bit of length too. He was efficient. Really until that 6th inning, I thought there was a shot he was going to go for a 7th, but that 6th inning dragged on a little bit. He gave up his 4th run. So at that point, he was done. But I mean, this Brewers team isn't awful either. Like, I mean, if you look at the lineup, Andrew McCutchen's on fire, and McCutchen just kind of destroyed Brubaker today when he had a 3-hit game. And then you just like look up and down, and it's just full of guys who just give the Pirates problems. Yelich had a good game today. Colton Wong with 2 more hits today. Like he's just a Pirates killer overall. We've had to deal with Colton Wong now for like 10 years. And I feel like every single time he comes up big, like I thought for sure he was going to hit a 3-run homer, in the 9th inning there. Like he got a single that I was bracing for the 3-run Colton Wong homer to take the lead in the 9th.
I'm with you. Now, albeit though, he did have that error at second today. Very un-Colton Wong-like.
Yeah,
against the Pirates.
He did make another really nice play there too on a double play, like starting it.
Yes.
So. But no, I thought, like I said, Brubaker he wasn't outstanding. He wasn't awful. He got the job done. He pitched 6 innings. He got through 6 innings with a lead. We'll take it. Good job by Crow and Stratton coming in to put up some zeros. And then Bednar first off, I was surprised they put him in. I didn't think they were going to put him in once they got that 4-run lead in the 8th. I didn't think they would go with him just out of precaution, like give him another day. There's no point in putting him in there with a 4-run lead. You have like a 98% win expectancy with a 4-run lead in the 9th inning. So I thought they would go someone else, but they didn't. And he just was not sharp. And so it just raises some questions as to, how injured is he? Like, should he have been put on the IL?
Mm-hmm.
If not, then we can chalk it up to a bad game. But this is now a couple bad games in a row from him. So you just kind of assume something's wrong there. And if they put him in here with a 4-run lead when something clearly isn't right, I'm not a huge fan of that.
Right. So, let's kind of talk about that a bit here. It is a 4-run lead. It's not like you needed David Bednar, particularly, at that point in time. Why you've been putting De Los Santos in some bigger situations, right? Which we've commended them for. That's something we've wanted to see. He's getting some of that experience, which of course he did tonight as well. But, why not just do it? Why not just save? It's not as if this is a 1 or 2 run game and it's like Bednar saying he's available, you're saying he's available, it's a big spot, go in. It's a 4-run lead at that point. Why don't you maybe just save your bullets a little bit? He's just coming back. This would be his first time. I can see the other side of it though. He is coming back, we're deeming him healthy, and it's not a big pressure game, so maybe put him in here right now. That's my only seeing the other side of this. Hey, it's not a 1 or 2 run game and all the pressure's on him. So maybe let's ease him in here. It's 4 runs. Do your thing, which he didn't.
Yeah.
I would side on the precaution and just say, hey, De Los Santos, just shut this down.
Or as I'm actually going to agree with Bucko Mike here in the comments, just put Stratton back out there for the 9th.
No, don't do it. No, yeah. I don't. I'm not. No, listen, he did his job. Move forward. What we need less of is Stratton pitching 2 innings.
Okay. I wouldn't have brought De Los Santos in then with a 4-run lead because he just pitched yesterday too. I think this is actually 3. This might be 3 games in a row now for De Los Santos. No, 3 out of 4.
Okay.
Because he pitched Monday, Wednesday, and then today. He went 2 innings on Monday.
But today was just 1 out at least.
Yeah.
With this decision, obviously, yes, I get it. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
But I will say this, great job, De Los Santos for sure. I'm getting more. I have more and more trust in him every time I see him pitch. This was another big spot he was put into tonight, and he got the job done. One batter, 1 out.
Right, he did. Like I said, he's getting those situations. It's something you want to see. When you talk about young guys, right? He's a reliever. He's a rookie, right? His first taste of Moby experience. He's getting some of that experience. I mean, this is something you're looking for in the future. I'm not going to say he's going to end up being a high leverage guy. He could, but let's get him some of those innings right now. So you go into next year and you might have a late inning guy. So I liked it. He performed, got his 2nd save of his career, right? Yesterday being the first one. But yeah, Bednar certainly not looking good. I'm a bit concerned now, and the fact that he pitched. How many was it tonight? I mean, he had quite a few pitches he threw. Yeah, 30 pitches he ended up throwing tonight. So like coming back from injury, now he's throwing 30. So I just assume he's probably not available for like the next 3 days.
He threw 30. He threw 30 pitches. So yeah, I can't imagine Bednar being available until at least Saturday.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And again, like that's part of the problem. Like there's not too many guys you can trust in the bullpen. So all right. But what else? I mean, Crow had a nice, fantastic outing tonight. He's back to doing what he was doing before. Stratton did the job, like you said. So in the bullpen outside of David Bednar, which is ironic to say, did their job.
No, yeah, I mean, Crow looked great. Stratton did the job. I'm like one of the only Chris Stratton believers out there, apparently.
You and me, boy. You and me.
I typically, like, when he goes in, everybody gets all, oh, no, not Chris Stratton. I have faith in Chris Stratton. I know he's blown some games, but he also gets put in a lot of situations that, he gets the opportunity to blow games, so he's going to do that. But I mean,
someone's got to blow him on this team.
But if you look like, I mean, Hold, I'm not going to cite Hold as a stat and say it's like the end all be all thing, but Chris Stratton has more holds than Will Crow. Right. So, I mean, Chris Stratton has held more leads in close games than Will Crow. I wouldn't have thought that, but
I could make the argument that that's only because Will Crow probably tacked on some wins because how he was used earlier on.
You're right. Yeah. I mean, Will Crow he's got how many wins this year?
I think at least 3.
He's got 3. Yeah. And 5 losses.
There you go. But I'm with you about Stratton. Again, though, my worry is the multi-innings. Stratton is a good reliever. Put him in for the inning you need. Let him do his job. Move forward.
Yeah. No, I'm good with that. But like I said, I would have been fine with the second inning with the 4-run lead. I wouldn't have had an issue with it.
I guess if you would have played it the same way you played with tonight with Bednar, like have him go out there, but have De Los Santos ready.
Yeah, have a
because it is 4 runs. So I guess I could go with that. I still would prefer that over Bednar tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, and then as I said, now you just got to think: is Bednar heading for the IL? Do you just kind of treat him like this is normal? I'll be interested to see what happens from this point forward, because he clearly isn't himself lately.
No. It just, I mean, like you can tell, that one pitch was like 10 feet in the air that he threw in his last at bat, I believe it was. The velocity seemed to be pretty much there, but his pitches were all over the place. He was just not himself. Yeah,
no command. He was getting hit hard. He wasn't generating swings and misses on the fastball. It was just not normal. Right.
All right. So let's move on to, more of the offense outside of Michael Perez, since we talked about him enough. So again, as you said with O'Neill Cruz, and this is why, I still have some bitterness carrying over from yesterday about all the talks and people comping O'Neill Cruz. And just for some reason labeling him what he is after 40 plate appearances this year. And today proved it. So David Todd comping him and Josh Van Meter because they had the same WRC plus and these numbers and whatever. And player A and player B, who would you want or something like that? And it's he's had 40 plate appearances. Come on, stop it. And what happened in one swing tonight, he went from 74 to 101 weighted run traded plus, because that's how stupid you look when you're comping and using a 40 plate appearance sample size. In one swing, it affected it that much. So this is why everyone just needs to be patient. Just sit back and watch. Who cares about the numbers per se? Even you, Bucko Mike, I know you're in this chat. quoting Mr. 211 or whatever you say. Like, that doesn't ultimately matter. And
no, it doesn't.
Right. So
I think
another huge home
his
run
home run
tonight.
today. I mean, the home run today raised his OPS like 110 points.
Yeah.
Is that right? Like,
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Right.
Why? It's like, again, it's like he's how many games in? This was his 10th start of the year. Like, he's a week and a half into the major league season. Yeah, we don't need to be comparing his stat lines to people who have been on the field all year. Like,
Right.
It's just not, they're not the same.
Right. He'll have career numbers as well, who's seen MLB pitching more than a week. But again, it is O'Neal Cruz. We'll talk about. So he did have the big home run. That second plate appearance. I mean, that was just a terrible call on that second strike. I mean, he went three strikes,
Yeah.
watched every one of them, which it really would have been 2 and 1. I'm sorry, 1 and 2.
Yeah, he was getting the he was getting like the Julio Rodriguez treatment on that one. When was that? That was right. I'm trying to pull up that at bat so I can look at it. That was against Sutter. Yeah, I mean, that strike 2 was a full
That was like
4 or 5 inches inside, and that changes the count from 1-1 to 0-2. Yeah, it's
right.
It just changes the dynamic of an at bat. And when you're facing a lefty who you've never seen before, and 0-2 makes you a lot more comfortable than 1-1. But yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm looking at it was nowhere near a strike, that's for sure. The other two were.
Yep. So again, I mean, this is what you get with Cruz, but he's learning, he's developing. And I'm glad you said Julio Rodriguez. Actually, I forgot about the whole Julio Rodriguez treatment as well. He was getting wrecked with those calls earlier in the season. But again, like, that's who I comped with. Like, if you look at his first 40 plate appearances, he's way worse than even O'Neal Cruz. And right now he's like a 2.5 WAR, 130, 140-ish way to run a creative plus, something like that. I mean, he's just outstanding. So everyone relax. Just watch
this is what
him.
we're seeing
when
right
I watch
now.
him, he looks good.
You can tell. Like, you can tell when you're watching him at the plate that, like, he's dangerous.
Right.
Anthony just wrote it in here that, watching, put that comment up, but like, you're just watching the plate appearances there and just looking at him, you can tell that there's just something different about him. So, and again, this kind of goes back to, I don't want to get too much into it, but, in April, when we were talking about how, Bobby Witt Jr. and Julio Rodriguez and these guys who were promoted quickly were struggling right off the bat, right? Well, yeah, they were just promoted. This is their first time seeing major league pitching. There's going to be an adjustment period. They've got to get used to it. So, like, this stuff that we're seeing out of O'Neal Cruz right now, like, clearly we can see the talent that he possesses. But yeah, he's going to go through some growing pains because this is his first extended look of major league playing time. It's not like last year where we got, two starts against the Reds at the end of the year, right? That's not really anything to look at. But, once you start getting everyday playing time in the major leagues, like, people are going to adjust to you. You're going to have to adjust to them. And we're seeing that in real time now. But like Anthony mentions in that comment, like, you can see the potential in O'Neal Cruz and, like, what he is capable of doing. And he is doing things already right now that you just don't see other people do. Like, that home run tonight, he hit it over the seats in right center field. Like, you don't see too many balls hit that far at PNC Park.
And both of his homers have been like line drive lasers. Like, that's the crazy part too.
He has laser beams. I think today he hit that ball over 110 miles an hour today. I think the Pirates have had like 13 of those all year, and he's got like 5 of them, or 4 or 5 of them. He's a freak.
He is a freak. And like, you're talking about, Bobby Witt, all that stuff, right? Like, I want to go back to like Jack Sawinski. I mean, when he first came up, you and I were talking much over and over and over about, I mean, don't look at the numbers because the numbers don't tell the story. You and I were actually very impressed with Jack Sawinski, how he looked. Now, at some point, numbers have to translate. But, when he first came up that first week or two, I mean, the numbers weren't there. They were terrible, right? But we were impressed in how he looked. I mean, he looks comfortable. He looks like a major leaguer. And it's still not the overall numbers. Like, he's still not a great player by any means, but he's holding his own. I mean, he has the power. He's in the lineup, and I know he's batting 216, but a 761 OPS he has. I mean, he's a major league player right now. And same thing with like O'Neal Cruz, right? The numbers don't really speak to what you're seeing. If you're watching the game and you're watching him take at bats, he's been good.
And now the numbers after one swing of the bat today aren't really all that bad.
Right. Because, we love to talk about small sample size.
Right.
All right. And Madris, Bly guy, gets another hit. I mean, he also, again, he's not young per se in that sense, but he's a newcomer, and he's been holding his own, man. I mean, I didn't expect this. I felt, he's ready. I mean, he's old enough. He'd probably come over and be a major leaguer, but it's looking like a small sample. But again, like, he's been impressive too.
Yeah. I mean, he strikes me as a guy who he's got enough experience at the minor league level. He has a lot of minor league at bats. He's played full seasons for 5 years now, essentially. So like he knows his way around a batter's box. I still don't like long-term potential there with Bly Madris. I'm not really seeing it, but he could be one of those guys who just as he's a late bloomer, and he can at least be a contributor on a team. I don't think anybody should be penciling Bly Madris into future starting lineups or anything like that. But
I'm not penciling right at all. But
yeah, I mean,
this is a guy who wasn't on the 40 man. Like, no one's talked about him basically for years and such. He just comes up and he's going to work.
Yeah, he's done a very good job. Been very impressed with him. Definitely want to see more of him. I'm not by no means am I writing him off, but he's done everything you would have wanted him to do at this point.
Right.
Except draw a walk. Hasn't drawn a walk yet.
Well, that must mean he's not good. He can't draw a walk. That's the marker.
Yeah.
But I guess if Madris doesn't draw a walk, it doesn't matter. But if O'Neal Cruz
walks
doesn't,
in 35 plate appearances, so therefore he's bad.
Sounds familiar. But yeah, again, like no qualm, like complaints about Bly. He's doing his job and he's earning his keep right now. And hey, again, he's an outfielder. Now I get it. He's a lefty, which there's 28 on this 26-man roster, but he's an outfielder, and that's a commodity for this team right now because they need him. So he's doing his job. And I guess, again, like going back to Jack Swinsky, I mean, he had another homer tonight, 2 for 3.
Yeah.
He's doing his job too. So
yeah,
actually now with his homer, that was his 13th. So now he overtakes from Julio Rodriguez again, right? With the MLB lead in homers.
Yeah, I think Julio hit his 12th last night.
Yep.
So, yeah. Let me look at that.
And they're not playing today, are they?
And then Witt has 11. So
Seattle.
So yeah, I mean, Jack Swinsky still at this point of the year still leads all rookies in home runs. He actually, I mean, he's got 112 less plate appearances than Julio Rodriguez too, and he's put up 13 home runs. Now, Julio has a lot higher on base percentage, a lot higher batting average. Like he's the better player.
I'm not comping the two.
19 stolen bases. Like Julio's going to be a 2020 guy in his first major league season here, but
like a 5-WAR player.
Right now, like the power from Sawinski is legit. Like he has good power. I mean, you take this over a full season, and it prorates to like over 30 home runs. I don't think either of us. I don't think anybody would have said that at the beginning of the year.
Tyler will let you know that I certainly wouldn't have. Yeah. I was skeptical on the power.
Jack Sawinski, potential 30 home run guy. I don't think anybody would have had that.
Could you imagine that happening though too? Like, what if he does?
Like he's going to get to 20
this year.
He won't get to 30 this year just because of the number of bats. But like if he does this again next year over the course of a full season, he's a 30 home run guy.
I take back everything. Like the way he's playing, I take back everything on the Adam Frazier trade. But it's all on him. Now, Marcano still has to prove it to me because I still have my doubts on him, even though you're much higher and you're all in on Marcano. But with Swinsky alone, so far what I'm seeing, again, like if he can just become a fourth outfielder, she looks like he can be a competent one. You know, you can certainly have worse, who can also with a DH now slide into be a DH, you know, here and there or whatever. I mean, the Adam Frazier trade.
I mean, he could be the left. He could be the main part of a corner outfield platoon. You know, where you get a right-handed outfielder back out there. He starts against righties. The righty starts against lefties. Like you have those, you know, in the corner outfield. Man, I would, if he could be that and then put up numbers like this. Yeah, I'll take that.
Right. Yep. So good game from all the rookies, really. And Michael Perez, just as you would have drawn it up.
Exactly. Yep.
Oh, so what else?
I think that's it. That's all I got. Yu Chang DFA'd before the game. So, you know, our long Yu Chang nightmare is over there. But so Yu Chang DFA'd, Tucupita Marcano activated. So Marcano back on the roster. By
the way, sorry, Anthony, I got to do it to you. Anthony says Mike Judge is the missing piece. I fully agree.
He does correct himself. But,
he does.
Yeah, Aaron Judge would be a nice piece on this team. Right-handed power.
He could be the other side of the platoon.
Yeah, we could do that. It's Sawinski, Judge, platoon.
Sawinski would be the larger part of the platoon, and then Aaron Judge on the other end.
Just play him against lefties. Yeah,
there you go. I like that idea.
No, but so Marcano back. It looks like Dwayne Underwood Jr. is getting close. He was there today doing some rehab, but he is going back to Altoona. I would imagine Dwayne Underwood Jr. joins this bullpen within the next week or so, would be my guess. Jason DeLay will probably be added here soon just because Heineman's wife is like about to have a baby like any day now, apparently. So DeLay is in Altoona right now, kind of awaiting that call. That's kind of it, though. I mean, right now it's just the next big story is going to be like what happens when all these other guys come off the IL. So you've got Underwood on the pitching side, and Zach Thompson too. So Underwood and Zach Thompson, and then you've got Kevin Newman, Jake Marisnik. Well, Marisnik's not ready yet, but
still a bit away.
Newman and Gamble being the main guys, and Yoshi. So Yoshi, Newman, Gamble. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of tough decisions to make, which, again, is like somewhat ironic on this 2020 team because there's some really easy decisions, but I feel like they're not going to go with the easy ones, which then goes into, like, the tough ones. I mean, because, again, like, these young guys are playing. Like, Sawinski's earning his keep. Bly's earning his keep. Like, Arnel Cruz is already here. You know, there's a lot of guys that deserve to be here. That probably, like, you're going to make that decision on some of them. Like Castillo, you know, he's kind of a mixed bag right now. Like the power's been there, but nothing really else this month.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm guessing, like Castillo goes down for Newman. Oh yeah, and Dylan Peters too. So with another right. person coming off here soon. So yeah, so you've got all these people, but like I would imagine Newman comes up, and Newman probably gets the bulk of your playing time at second base.
I agree. For now.
For now. Yeah. So then it's like, all right, well then do you send Castillo down and do you keep Marcano or do you send Marcano down when Yoshi? So I could see that Diego and Marcano maybe being sent down when Yoshi and Newman come up. But then you still have Van Meter. You've got Van Meter there.
Like has to go.
Like I would have never thought Van Meter would be on this team on June 30th.
Never.
Like when they traded for him in the beginning of the year, I was like, all right, well, he'll be a guy. He'll be there for a couple weeks, and that's it.
Right.
But
I'm with you. Like I felt if it wasn't the first, couple weeks, it was going to be that when that roster trimmed, which I know it delayed a little bit, but he wasn't surviving a roster trim by any means, and he did.
Yeah, he's
He
even
won the
survived
IL and
he's survived an IL stint and being activated too. So
right.
yeah,
So, but I just feel his time has to come when all these guys come back. I mean, he has to, because there's no way I feel like you can send down anyone outside of Marcano and Castillo at this point, as far as like the younger guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately you got to choose between Van Meter and Yoshi, right? I mean, because right now, like the middle infield is so jammed. Like Van Meter doesn't even fit into the middle infield anymore. Like Van Meter is basically a first baseman at this point,
which he's terrible at.
Right.
I mean, he's proven like he's just absolutely terrible defensively at first base.
So I mean, like I think I think ultimately that's the decision: is Van Meter or Yoshi. You can't keep both for an extended period of time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what you could ultimately state is Van Meter has the flexibility as far as positions. I know you're saying there's a logjam in the middle field, but he has the ability to play everywhere, where Yoshi, I mean, he really is a DH, just playing first base. I mean, everything we're saying about Van Meter, you can say about Yoshi. Like, he's also terrible at first base as well. Probably just a hair better, though. But, like, I feel like that's maybe his saving grace, is he can play everywhere. But I think ultimately also on the same side, he's dirt cheap. Yoshi was a $4 million investment, and you probably want to see something out of your investment. So you might stay and keep, because again, if you're going to say Yoshi's bad, also Josh Van Meter's bad. So do I want to keep the $4 million bad person, or do I want to keep the $700,000 bad person? I'll probably keep the $4 million investment, part ways with this one, right? And hope to get something out of my $4 million investment. So I ultimately feel like they're going to go Yoshi over Josh Van Meter, which to me is what I would do.
I've kind of forgotten
like
how
bad. Be gone soon.
I kind of forgot how bad Yoshi was. Like, I just pulled up his Fangraphs page. It's so bad. It's so bad.
I mean, he turned into like just a singles walk guy who doesn't hit for singles. Awful. Like when he hits, it's a single.
Yeah, he's not even really a singles guy because he can't hit those either. He just doesn't hit anything.
Right. But I just feel like that would be my decision. But again, I feel like both should be DFA'd. Like, I'm ready to move on from Yoshi and ready to move on from Josh Van Meter. Bly's been taking first base, at bats or first base defensively in AAA. Like, I would rather have Bly and Chavis handling my first base duties. Because there's no way Bly is any worse than Josh Van Meter. And he actually is hitting, and he's part of your future. So just go with that. And that gets him at bats. Like, because the outfield is going to eventually get crowded when Gamble comes back and such. Like, that's ultimately what I would want to do. Just move on from Van Meter and Yoshi.
I'll agree with you there.
Wow. This is weird.
Anything else?
That's pretty much all for me. I'm ready.
We were like 18 minutes into this, and I was like, what else are we going to talk about? And then we just talked about Josh Van Meter for 20 minutes.
But as Bucko Mike says, roster cleanup. It's time. I said it yesterday, like, you're starting to see this roster become more competent. Let's continue that. Hopefully in the next few weeks, you start seeing an actual, like, competent type of roster. So I'm good with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely more competent now than it was, 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting there. And then you even add, like, and I know, like, he's not great, but, like, you add Kevin Newman, and he's at least like a major leaguer, and then Ben Gamble too. Ben Gamble's he's solid. Like, he's been good. Oh, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
He actually will add length to that lineup.
Yeah,
like Ben Gamble in that lineup is it's a positive.
But yeah, back-to-back 8-7 victories. Tomorrow, Roansy Day. Roansy Day tomorrow against Corbin Burns. I always feel like Roansy always goes up against
tough matchups.
Like, just studs, I feel like. Because he had McClanahan last time, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And he had
Did he go against
He had
Flaherty, actually?
He had some bum against the Cubs the time before that, but
Well, they're all bums against the Cubs. But did he go against Flaherty as well? Against the Cardinals?
Maybe.
And then, of course, his first start against Mackenzie Gore, who was lights out at the time.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, Roansy against Corbin Burns tomorrow, 7:05. Corbin Burns has been on fire.
Yeah, I'm just be honest. I'm going on Prize Picks tomorrow, and I'm putting
been on
fire.
He has 8 or more strikeouts in each of his last 4 games.
Yeah, mind you.
Yeah, he's been good. Still, for some reason, I had the impression that like Corbin Burns was having a down year, like in April.
Oh no!
And I think it was just his first start. He gave up 3 runs, and so it gave me that impression. But,
well, my God, 3 runs in a start. We're out here talking like, hey, JT Brubaker, man, he had a quality start last outing, and it's like, oh my God, Corbin Burns, 3 earned runs, the world's falling apart. Yeah, he's good. As they say, he is him.
Yes, he's good.
All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Actually, we'll take this one last question. Anthony wants to know, who will you commit to if someone hits 3 dingers again tomorrow?
No, I'm saying, what will you commit to do?
Oh, my bad. I can't read it right.
How about this? When's the Pirates Charities game?
Oh shoot! Yeah, it's tomorrow. That just sprung up.
Is that tomorrow?
Kind of irritates me because you should do something.
But is that tomorrow?
I think it is tomorrow.
So here's the deal: if
not, then it's Saturday.
If a Pirates player hits, let's see. Let's find out when the charity game is. The charity game is, there we go. 2022 Pirates charity game. Friday. It's tomorrow.
First. Yep.
All right. So if someone hits 3 home runs tomorrow, I'm gonna donate $500 and get a Q Brian Hayes autographed jersey. There you go, Anthony. $500 donation to Pirates Charities tomorrow if we get another 3 home run game by
I just like the way you phrase that too, and how it's going down. Like when you get that jersey, your wife's like, "Why did you buy another jersey?" Oh, it was for charity. Like deep down, like, I mean, you're gonna buy that anyways. I know you, Jim. You're probably gonna buy that anyways. I'm getting a Brian Hayes autographed jersey, and now you just get to phrase it in. Oh, I lost this bet. I got to donate $500, but I'm only getting a Brian Hayes, autographed jersey out of it.
Doesn't seem like a bad deal. So for $500, you donate to charity. You get a Hayes autographed jersey. You get an overnight bag, 2 Pirates tickets, and an autographed baseball.
And is it just 1 or 2 autographs? I think it is just
a jersey
this year.
It's a jersey and a ball.
Yeah. Well, they've always had 2 autographed baseballs, but I remember this year's a lot different. But I think, this year is just 1 autographed baseball now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good, there
we go.
There we
go. Yeah. So that's 3 homers, and that'll happen.
All right. Sounds good. Good deal. Well, let's get out of here. We will see you guys tomorrow after Corbin Burns throws 8 innings for 13 strikeouts. However, the Pirates win because someone hits the 3rd home run in the 9th inning off Josh Hader. So
there we go.
There we go. Let's go. We'll see you guys then. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
See you guys.